There's something I've never shared with anyone. Not long ago, my typical morning started with a glass of fruit juice and a slice of toast. It felt healthy, light, simple, perfect for someone my age. But one day as I stood up from my chair, I felt my legs trembling, like they had lost all their strength. I went to the doctor thinking it was just fatigue or poor sleep, but he looked me straight in the eye and said, "Actually, your body is reacting to the very foods you thought were harmless." I was stunned. No sugar, no fat, yet somehow these foods were making me weaker? That moment led me down a path of discovery about the kinds of food people over 60 truly need. No sugar, no starch, but packed with nutrients that restore memory, strengthen the legs, and keep blood sugar steady, without pills. Today, I want to share with you 8 powerful foods that change the way I eat and how I feel. Stick around, because number 3 on this list is the very reason I haven't touched blood pressure medication in over a year. Before we jump in, take a second to leave a comment and tell us, where in the world are you watching from? We read every comment and we love hearing from you. And if you find this kind of content helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps us keep creating videos that support your health, your independence, and your quality of life, one small step at a time. Let me start with one of the easiest and most powerful changes I ever made to my meals, adding leafy greens. I used to think spinach and kale were just decoration on the plate, something you push to the side while eating the real food. But I couldn't have been more wrong. These leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, Swiss chard, are some of the very few foods that give your body real meaningful benefits without bringing along sugar or carbs. A cup of raw spinach, it has only about 1 gram of carbs, and most of that is fiber, basically 0 sugar. Yet it's loaded with nutrients that actually do something. Vitamin A to support immunity, vitamin C to help your body repair itself, and vitamin K to protect your bones. At one point, I was feeling tired every afternoon. My belly felt heavy, and my joints were constantly stiff. I kept blaming it on age. That's just part of getting older, I told myself. But then I decided to try something different. I stopped eating my usual lunch, usually a sandwich with processed meat, and instead made a simple spinach salad. I added a boiled egg, a little olive oil, and a few sunflower seeds on top. That's it. No fancy recipes, no drastic diet. After about 2 weeks, I felt the difference. My mind was clearer. My legs weren't dragging like before. Even the aches in my knees started to fade. And the best part? I wasn't eating less. I was just eating smarter. That's the whole idea. You're not starving yourself. You're just choosing foods that actually feed your body. So if you're wondering where to start, this is it. Add a handful of raw spinach to your plate at lunch or dinner, or lightly saute kale in olive oil for 5 minutes. That small shift can help keep your blood sugar steady, your energy stable, and your body feeling a little more like you again. Now, greens are a great foundation, but coming up next is something a little crunchier. It actually helps your body flush out extra sugar before it has the chance to raise your blood sugar. You're going to want to hear about this. Let's take a look. Number 2, broccoli and cauliflower. To be honest, I used to overlook them. They didn't seem exciting. No bold colors, no trendy labels, no superfood claims, just plain old-fashioned veggies. But once I started including them in my meals regularly, the difference in how I felt was unexpected. Both broccoli and cauliflower are what we call non-starchy vegetables. That means they're naturally low in carbohydrates, and they contain no sugar at all. But the real secret? They're full of fiber, the kind that slows digestion and keeps your blood sugar from shooting up after you eat. And that's a big deal, especially as we get older. Because with age, our bodies become more resistant to insulin. Even small meals can cause bigger sugar spikes. But when you fill your plate with broccoli or cauliflower, things change. These veggies help your body absorb sugar more slowly, so you avoid the energy crashes and the roller coaster highs and lows. Personally, I started small, Just roasting some cauliflower and broccoli in the oven with a splash of olive oil, a bit of sea salt, maybe a sprinkle of garlic. I'd add it to dinner a few times a week. I wasn't trying to go on a diet. I just wanted to feel better. And I did. Within a few weeks, my mornings felt different. I was getting out of bed with more ease. The tightness in my knees eased up. Even my blood pressure dropped slightly at my next checkup. I didn't make any major changes, just added real food and let it do the work. So here's what I'd suggest if you haven't already. Start with just 1 cup of steamed or roasted broccoli or cauliflower a day. You can keep it simple. Add a squeeze of lemon or some olive oil. It doesn't need to be fancy, but make it a habit. Quick question before we move on. Have you tried adding these veggies to your meals yet? Let me know in the comments. Your routine might inspire someone else who's watching this right now. Now, leafy greens and fiber-rich vegetables are smart choices. But what if there was a rich, creamy food with 0 carbs that not only fills you up, but actively protects your brain and your heart? Number 3. For years, I overlooked fish. I thought of it as a once-in-a-while thing. But once I began learning more about what really supports the brain and the heart after 60, one food kept showing up again and again. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines. These fish have something truly powerful in common: 0 carbohydrates and a rich dose of omega-3 fatty acids, the kind that your brain thrives on. Omega-3s are natural inflammation fighters. They help reduce the kind of silent inflammation that builds up in your blood vessels and joints over the years. Left unchecked, that inflammation doesn't just make your knees hurt, it also messes with your memory and makes your heart work harder than it should. And this isn't just guesswork. A major Harvard study confirmed it. Older adults who got more omega-3s had stronger heart health, clearer thinking, and were less likely to suffer cognitive decline. After reading that, I decided to give it a real shot. I started adding salmon to dinner twice a week. Nothing fancy, just baked with lemon, a little olive oil, maybe a bit of dill, that's all. Within a couple of months, something shifted. I wasn't searching for my keys as often. I could focus on tasks longer. And maybe this sounds silly, but my mood felt more balanced. Like I wasn't running on empty anymore. It's not some magic pill. It's your body getting what it actually needs, real nutrients that work with you, not against you. So if you haven't made fatty fish part of your weekly routine yet, I'd highly recommend it. Even canned wild salmon can be a great option. Add a little lemon juice or olive oil, and you've got a meal that feeds your brain, not just your stomach. Dinner's taken care of, but don't forget about breakfast. Because next, we're talking about one food that's been unfairly criticized for decades. But for older adults on a low-carb diet, it might just be one of the best choices in your fridge. Let's talk about eggs. I'd heard all the warnings. Too much cholesterol, bad for your heart, better to stick with cereal or toast, so I did. I'd rush through mornings with a piece of bread or nothing at all. But by 10 a.m., I'd feel shaky, foggy, and completely drained. I figured it was just a blood sugar dip. Maybe a normal part of aging. But then I tried something different. Just 2 boiled eggs and half an avocado for breakfast. That's it. No sugar, no bread, no crash. And the difference? Noticeable. I felt more alert by mid-morning. My hands weren't trembling, my focus sharpened. And the best part? It cost less than a muffin from the cafe down the street. Eggs are truly underrated. 1 large egg has less than 1 gram of carbs, 0 sugar, and is packed with high-quality protein. But what really surprised me were the nutrients I never thought about before: choline and lutein. Choline actually helps your brain cells stay connected. It plays a role in memory and mental clarity. And lutein, that's what helps protect your vision, especially as we age. It's been linked to reduced risk of macular degeneration, which is one of the most common causes of vision loss in older adults. Scrambled, poached, hard-boiled, it doesn't matter how you prepare them. Eggs are affordable, easy to digest, and incredibly beneficial for seniors, especially when paired with healthy fats like avocado or some steamed greens. Let me ask you this. How do you usually eat your eggs? Or have you been avoiding them like I used to? Drop a comment below. Your tip might give someone else a fresh idea. Now, eggs are perfect for meals. But what about when you're hungry between them? Up next, we'll look at a small, crunchy snack that fights inflammation, boosts your energy, and keeps your blood sugar steady. Let's check it out. Number 5. Nuts and seeds. Around 3 p.m., the energy starts to fade. Your brain gets foggy, your hands might feel a little shaky, and suddenly you're craving something sweet. Sound familiar? For the longest time, that was me. I'd reach for a granola bar, a couple of crackers, or even a cookie, thinking it would give me a quick lift. And it did, for about 20 minutes. Then came the crash. Tired again, hungry again, slower than before. But once I learned what was really happening, everything changed. Those quick snacks were loaded with hidden sugars and processed carbs, spiking my blood sugar and then dropping it just as fast. What I needed wasn't more sugar, it was balance. That's when I started replacing those snacks with nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds. These aren't just crunchy fillers, they're nutrient powerhouses, low in carbs, low in sugar, but full of healthy fats, plant-based protein, and magnesium, a mineral that helps regulate your nerves, muscles, and energy levels. So I made a new habit. Instead of cookies, I kept a small handful of almonds in a jar by my desk, and sometimes I'd mix chia seeds into almond milk and let it sit overnight for a simple, no-sugar pudding. The result? No crash, no cravings. And surprisingly, even my nighttime leg cramps started to fade. Turns out the magnesium really does make a difference. And there's more. Nuts and seeds also support bone strength and help reduce low-grade inflammation, one of the sneakiest causes of fatigue in older adults. Here's a simple tip that worked for me. Keep a small pouch of unsalted almonds in your car or bag. That way, you always have something on hand that fuels your body without messing with your blood sugar. How about you? Have you made the switch from sweet snacks to nuts or seeds? Let me know in the comments. Now we've talked about crunchy snacks, but up next is something creamier. It's rich in fat, yes, but it turns out it's one of the smartest foods for managing blood sugar naturally. And trust me, it might just surprise you. Number 6, avocados. For years I had it stuck in my head. Fat is bad. That was the message we all grew up with, right? Low fat this, fat free that. So naturally, I steered clear of foods like avocado, thinking they'd do more harm than good. But here's the truth. I wish I'd known sooner. Avocados are one of the healthiest sources of fat you can eat, especially as you get older. They're full of monounsaturated fats, which actually support heart health, improve how your body responds to insulin, and help balance your blood sugar. And the surprise for most people? Avocados have almost no sugar and incredibly low net carbs, thanks to their high fiber content. That means they digest slowly, keep you feeling full longer, and don't cause that midday energy crash. I remember the first time I added half an avocado to my lunch salad. Honestly, I was still skeptical. But within a week or two, I started noticing subtle changes. I wasn't reaching for snacks in the afternoon like I used to. I stayed full longer. And during my next routine blood test, my cholesterol numbers actually improved. LDL went down, and HDL, the good kind, went up. No pills, no crazy diet, just real food. Now I slice avocado over scrambled eggs, mix it into salads, or mash it with a little lime and garlic for a simple spread. It's creamy, satisfying, and it's doing more than just filling my stomach. It's supporting my brain, protecting my heart, and helping me stay balanced. So I want to ask you, have you been skipping healthy fats like avocado because of old advice? Share your experience in the comments below. Now, avocados are powerful, but the next one is even more surprising. It's not something you eat with a fork, but just 1 tablespoon a day can quietly support your arteries and reduce hidden inflammation. I'm talking about number 7, olive oil. It's not something you chew. It doesn't come in a shiny package or with a superfood label. But once I learned what it actually does inside the body, I started seeing it in a whole new light. Olive oil contains 0 carbs and 0 sugar, but it's packed with the kind of healthy fats, monounsaturated fats, that help keep your heart strong, your blood vessels flexible, and your mind sharp as you age. But what really caught my attention was one particular compound inside it, oleocanthal. It acts almost like a natural anti-inflammatory, similar to ibuprofen, but without the side effects. And this isn't just folk wisdom. Studies published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology have shown that regular use of olive oil is linked to a lower risk of stroke and cognitive decline, especially in people over 60. In Mediterranean countries, it's just part of daily life. You'll see people in their 80s and 90s walking, gardening, laughing with family, and many of them credit olive oil as one of their secrets to a long, active life. I'll admit, I used to reach for margarine or butter without thinking. But once I made the switch, I started using olive oil in everything. I drizzle it over broccoli, mix it into salad dressings, even stir a teaspoon into my scrambled eggs. Nothing fancy. But the results? I felt lighter, less puffy. My energy felt more steady throughout the day. And at my next checkup, my blood pressure had quietly dipped a few points lower, just from making one small change. Have you made the switch yet? How do you use olive oil in your kitchen? Drop a comment below. Your tip could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. All right, we've covered greens, fish, eggs, healthy snacks, and even healing oils. But there's one last food I want to talk about. It's a little controversial. Some people think it's unhealthy, but for seniors, it might just be one of the smartest additions to your plate. Let's bust the myth. Number 8, cheese. For the longest time, I believed what many people still think. Cheese is too fatty, too salty, probably not good for me. So I avoided it, thinking I was doing the right thing. But once I really started paying attention to what my body needed, especially on a low-sugar, low-carb path, I realized I had it backward. Turns out, cheese can actually be a fantastic food for older adults. Why? Because most cheeses have little to no sugar, they're very low in carbs, and they deliver a good dose of protein and calcium, 2 things your body needs more of, not less, as you age. Protein helps keep your muscles strong, calcium helps protect your bones, and the fat, it helps you feel full and satisfied, so you're less likely to grab sugary snacks between meals. I saw the difference myself. I used to snack on crackers or cookies in the afternoon, just out of habit. But those quick bites left me hungrier later and didn't help my energy. So I made a small change. I started replacing that snack with a few slices of aged cheddar and some cucumber. Nothing complicated. And it worked. I didn't feel the same cravings. I stayed fuller longer, and my blood sugar stayed more stable in the afternoons. Even at my next checkup, my doctor pointed out that my weight had leveled off. No new pills, no strict diet, just a smarter choice at snack time. If you're thinking of giving it a try, start with hard cheeses like Parmesan, Swiss, or sharp cheddar. Stick to about 1 to 2 ounces per serving and pair it with something fresh, like sliced bell peppers, cucumbers, or even a few olives. And if you're sensitive to dairy, aged cheeses are usually easier on the stomach because they contain less lactose. Have you already tried this kind of snack swap? Or are you still a little unsure about cheese? Share your thoughts in the comments. Now that we've gone through all 8 foods together, I hope you see what I've come to believe deep in my bones. You don't need extreme diets, expensive supplements, or fancy labels to feel better after 60. I didn't change my life overnight. I didn't follow a strict plan. I just started swapping out the things that left me drained and replaced them with foods that actually gave something back. And little by little, I felt more like myself again. Maybe today is your first step. Maybe it's just adding a handful of spinach to lunch, or switching your afternoon cookie for a slice of cheese and cucumber. That one choice, repeated often, can lead to a real, lasting shift in how you move, think, and live. So tell me in the comments, what change are you ready to make today? I'd love to hear your story, and who knows, it might help someone else watching too. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more content like this. And hey, if you'd like to support this channel, consider buying us a small coffee by clicking the thanks icon below. Every little bit helps us keep making videos that support your health and independence. Because growing older doesn't mean giving up control, it just means choosing differently, starting with what's on your plate.